Hey guys, welcome back to Linda's Resin Room. So what I thought we would do today is make a set of coasters. And I wanted to use some polyurethane resin, but I haven't used it in a while. And on both brands that I have, the lids are stuck. So until I can get my husband up here to break those apart, I can't do it. So we're going to use regular epoxy resin. I'm using my Long Crafter epoxy resin, part A, part B. We're going to mix up 6 ounces. Usually 6 ounces is enough for a first layer. So I'm going to do 3 parts of B. Hopefully I have, 3 ounces, not 3 parts. This is a 1-to-1. I think I've got 3 ounces in here left. Make sure you get eye level when you're looking at this. Okay, good deal. 3 ounces. And that finishes that off. And now let's do 3 ounces of part A. So we're going to go from 3 to 6. Usually you'll have a little bit of part A or something left. But I think I'm going to be pretty good. I think they're both going to be about the same. That is awesome. That didn't ever happen to me. Only if I do it by weight. And you know, part A always weighs more than part B. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to clean this stick off, because we're going to take and mix some white paste in this. And I'm using the Eye Candy Satori white because I love this white. I think it's a very white white. I'm going to mix this up. It's a really strong paste. Don't need a whole lot. When I first started doing blooms, this is the paste I used, and I love it. It's still one of my favorites. So I'm just going to mix that up. I'm going to take this off the stick, and I'm just going to get a little bit on there on a good solid white. So maybe that much. And I think that will be plenty. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix this up. We're going to let it cure. And then I have these heat transfers that I have already cut out that I'm going to put down in each one of these and make coasters. We'll cover them with a clear layer on top. Might put a little sparkle in there, some diamond dust. These transfers came from Temu a long time ago. I love them. They're one of my favorites. I had ordered like 3 or 4 sets because of it. And I matched them up. So like these will be another set because they all have the white box. And then this will be another set just because the wording is kind of similar. But you can do them however you want. If I can find the link for those, I will put it in the description box. And if I can't find them on Temu where I got them, if I can find them anywhere else, I will link them for you guys. I have a set of these coasters myself just because, like I said, they are one of my favorite. And I love what they say. I've got The Lord is my strength, Made to worship, Grow in grace, and God is good all the time. Love those. And they're all true. All right, love the Lord. Okay, just going to mix this up. I'll mix it for 3 minutes off camera, but I want to show you guys how white this is. And it's like white. That's why I like eye candy pastes. That is white. No dingy to it. I'm going to mix it up, come back, and we'll pour. See you in just a moment. Okay, so I got my resin mixed up. Got it out of the debubbler. We're just going to pour this in here and let it kind of spread out on its own. I want them all to be about the same thickness if I can. So about 1.5 ounces per each one, if they need all that. Okay. Now I'm just going to lay that there, and I'm going to get my stick here. And I'm just going to push this over and try to get it in all those corners. And hopefully I don't cause any bubbles doing this. I just want a thin layer of white to be able to stick my heat transfer on. Okay. Isn't that a pretty white? And I love these heat transfers. The colors are so vibrant and so pretty. Okay, almost got the second one. I feel like I may have a little more resin in that one and these others than I do the first one. Because they've kind of almost spread out the whole way themselves. Okay, one more corner. Don't want to miss that one. All right, just going to wipe this off. Throw that back out of the way. Now, I do think I need just a little bit more in this one. Probably not much. And maybe just a little more in that one. Okay, that will be plenty, I think. They all look like they're about even now. I'm going to let those cure up. Now, what can I do with the white? Let's do a white shaker turtle. I don't think I've done a solid white one. Love this little mold. I'm just going to pour this in here. Hopefully I don't get any bubbles. It just kind of spreads out through there. He's so cute. I got this off of Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. And I will link it in the description for you guys, along with everything else that I've used. And you know, with the Bond Crafter resin, there is a 20% off discount code if you use any Bond Crafter products. Their resin, their silicone, their flex rubber, whatever. Let's see. Do I have any solid white butterflies? I got glittery white ones. Wonder if we could maybe do like some pink. Wouldn't pink be pretty? Let's see, I should have one more here. Let's find us a pink. Alright, this is Let's Resin. It's an opaque resin pigment. You do want to shake these up. And I will link this along with everything else in the description box. Let's Resin. If you click the link and purchase this, clicking the link, it should automatically give you 10% off of this product. There also is a link in the affiliates section that gives you 10% off if you use that link and purchase anything through Let's Resin. Okay, I don't know how many I put in there. I didn't count. Anybody count? I'm just going to mix this up. I'm not going to mix it up very well. I don't care if it's a pinky, white, streaked. Oh, it looks like Pepto-Bismol, doesn't it? It's a little darker on my end than you guys. Okay. Now I'm going to just clean this spatula off I don't want it dripping everywhere on me. And I'm going to get a stick because I think it's so much easier to do this with a stick. Okay. And they just take a drop or two, each one does. And they spread out very well on their own. I could have done that with the white that I used the shaker, couldn't I? Changed his color up, and I didn't. Just left him solid white. We'll have to put him some good color in there. When we go to put him together, of course. These butterflies don't take just a second to fill up. You just get your drips and drop it in there, and they spread out, and you're good to go. Okay, do our next one over here. Trying to keep the cup tilted kind of up so that when I'm scraping this off, it doesn't drip back out. It goes back down in the container, because I'm really bad for that. We'll still be making something else after we do these. Okay, let's mix. Maybe let's put some red in there. Do I have red? Kind of darken it up a little bit. Oh yeah, they make a red too. That way we don't have all the same color. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That time I counted. It's still the Let's Resin opaque colors. Now I'm not going to stir this all the way. We'll see if we can get it to kind of marble up a little bit with the color as it is in the container. Can't say that it will, but at least it'll be a darker pink than originally. I got a little too much in that one. Let's see if we can get a little out there. Okay. And I know these butterflies came from Amazon, so I ordered 2 sets of them. I got 1 set and I love them so much I ordered another. That's why I have 2. They come in 2 in a pack. Okay. See if I can get a little drop more in that one. I think 1 set takes like 1 drop, and the other set I got takes about 2 drops. Or maybe I'm using bigger drops. Could be that too. Okay. Last one. I also have a bow mold ribbon. That would be pretty in this. So we could do some of those. And it came from Amazon. It also has, got a little too much color in some of these. Drip a little out. Just stick your stick in it and it'll pull it out, and then there's really no cleanup because of it sucks what's around it down into the mold. Okay, almost, guys. Two more, and then we'll move on to the bows. Like he needs just a little bit more. Oh, did you see me drip? I knew I would. Now I've got to get that out of there. Okay, now I have my ribbons here. I'm going to move him up there, and I'll stick my arm right in there if I don't clean that up. I'm just going to fill these up. I feel like I've got just I gotta break that and get that to kind of go down in there. Like break the tension. He needs a little more down in there, doesn't he? And they kind of spread out on their own is a good thing. Needs a little bit more. Just going to push that down like that. Okay. Two more. Now this bow mold did come with two of these, but I'm not going to fill up both of them. Just going to do the one. Okay. And I still got enough. I think I might be able to do a small turtle and clean this stick off. Okay. I think I threw my little turtle. Which one did I got? Okay, he's got little jewels. This came from Amazon as well. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to stick that there, and all I'm going to do, guys, is just take all of this resin that I can get out of here and pour it right down in there. And fill this little guy up. I did get some white with him, so he's not going to be, well, I guess it's a she if it's pink. Which I don't know, some guys like pink. Got a nephew and his favorite color is pink. And my husband's favorite color is purple. All right. Let's see. I've got some little molds. Don't really want to do those. Don't care much for them. All right, I think I've got enough to do a butterfly. I think we can scrape out enough in here for a butterfly. This is an Lindasresin mold. And there, like I said, there's a 20% discount on all Lindasresin molds. That's in the description. And that does include the on sale ones. You'll still take 20% off. The thing you gotta think about when you order from Lindasresin, though, these are handmade molds. So it does take them about a month to get them made and shipped out to you. So you will be waiting a while to get their molds. But they are so worth it. Okay. Just get the rest of this so I can fill that up. Okay. I know I should be able to get enough to fill this up. It doesn't need much. Otherwise, I'm going to be trimming the back. And you don't have to dome handmade molds, because then you'll have more to trim off. Okay. I think that's all I'm going to get out of that. I don't see any more. That is pretty much done for. Alrighty, guys. We'll let all this cure up. I'm going to take my paper towel, spritz my spatula down with some isopropyl alcohol. That is 99%. And get all of that resin off there. You can let it cure up and then it'll peel right off of the silicone. But I like mine to just already be ready, because I don't have time for that to peel up, because I'm probably going to use it again before those cure to make something else. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to spritz those with alcohol. Alrighty, guys. That is it. We'll let all this cure up. We'll come back and we will put our transfers onto our, I see something down in there, onto our coasters. Here is my dotting tool. I also am going to cover these over. There we go. I got it. Because I don't want anything getting into these. So I'm going to move all of this stuff out of the way. I'm going to put my white, my pastes, and all that back up. That can go over there to cure. And I'm just going to move this. And I have these food nets. To open, you just pull the string. And I can set this right over top of every bit of this, hopefully. Let me get that in there. And this will keep anything out of my stuff so no bugs get down in there, because bugs do slip in here sometimes. All right, guys, we'll let this cure up I'll see you back then. All right, guys, these are still really soft, but I think they're cured up enough that I can get my heat transfer on it. I don't want them to completely cure before I get these on here, because then it makes it a little more difficult. They have more of a tendency to bubble up. And if you get them on when it's still soft and not completely cured, seems like they just stick a little better. So that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm just lining them up, putting them in there. I've got my iron that is getting hot. I don't know if it's hot enough yet to get this to stick or not, but we're going to try it. And I want this just to adhere to the resin is what I want it to do. And where I can just peel off the clear coating. Okay. And I'll link this little iron in the description box. I got it off of Amazon. And it does really well for these heat transfers. It has a control for the temp on it. I can just get it to adhere the whole thing. And it's not completely hot yet. I'm kind of taking my time too. Just get it to stick completely. Go over the whole thing again. I'm still not stuck on this side. But this is the best way that I have found to put heat transfers on these. And I suppose you could leave the plastic on if you wanted to, but you're going to see it. Okay. Now, that is on there. I don't see any bubbles underneath. This is your control. It goes up to 480 degrees Celsius. That's a lot. I can't see how that would be right. Now getting the plastic. You can see it's still not adhered to it. I can get that to stay down. There we go. Now I'm getting it. I'm just going to show you guys me do the first one, and then I'm going to do the rest off camera because it's going to take some time. Or I can put it on a time lapse, I suppose. We could do a time lapse, and that way I can throw some music to it. Okay. Some of them are sticking down good, and then others are just giving me a time. Maybe if I go from the back end. That one just does not want to come off. I'm giving it a little pressure. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere, hopefully. Just takes quite a bit of pressure to get all this to come off. Alright guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put you on the time lapse. And I'm going to finish doing this because it's going to take me some time. So I'll see you guys after the time lapse.
Lindasresinroom where chaos brews. Epoxy rivers run wild through hues. Glitter splash like stars in deep space. Mica powders leaving their trace. Swirling, spinning, never tame. Colors shouting out her name. Magic blooms from her hands tonight. One of a kind under shifting light. Never know what's hiding inside.
Alright guys, I'm almost finished. You can see I messed this one up. I just couldn't get a piece off. But I figured it out how you have to do it. So you take this and have something to scrape with, because when you put the heat, then you need to scrape it on there. And once you do this, then it comes right off. That helps it to adhere to the resin. And that is it. Once I figured that out, took me just a couple of minutes to finish the rest. Took me a while to figure that out though. Let me unplug this because that is hot. And now I've already burned my finger. Y'all might have seen me jump. Alright guys, I'm going to mix up some clear resin, put a little sparkle in it, throw it in the debubbler, and I'll be back. I'm just going to put just a little tiny bit of this crushed crystal from Unicorn Art in it, but I'll be right back to give a pour. I'll see you in just a moment. Alrighty guys, I mixed up 5 ounces of resin and I put just a little tiny bit of the crushed crystal in there. And we're just going to pour these in here and hopefully fill up the rest of these coasters. Okay. Put a little more in here. See if I can get that one to go out to the edges. As well as this one. Try to get all of them to kind of fill up to the corners on their own if I can. That one's pretty good. I think they've all went to the edges, haven't they? Okay. Put a little more in that one. A little more there. I can't really hold a whole lot more. They're pretty full. Those back two definitely can't hold anymore. I think I can get what's left in this cup in this one without overflowing. I hope anyways. And that was 5 ounces. I did 2.5 ounces part A, 2.5 ounces of part B. Okay, maybe it's just a little tiny bit, so I'm hoping it's not going to overflow it. Okay, now I can't tell if that's unmixed resin or if it's bubbles, because I did scrape the cup, so I'm just going to kind of mix it just a little bit here, probably creating bubbles. I'm going to have to zap. It looks like the diamond stuck together with a crushed crystal. Okay. All right. That should be it, guys. Let that drip off. Did the same thing, didn't I? Mix it up again. Now I've already scraped down in the cup, so if it does it this time, I know it's the bubbles. It's bubbles. Okay. I'm going to turn that cup over there. Find me a paper towel here. Spritz this down. I forgot to clean the last one off. So it now has resin that's drying on it. So I'll have to clean it afterwards. Just take my paper towel after I spritz the silicone down with alcohol. And that is clean for my next time. Now I'll get my... I'm going to be careful and not get to the edges. I don't want to burn this mold. And that bothers me. Where's a toothpick? Well, I know I have one. There he is. Okay, I'm just going to mix that up a little bit there. Okay. Just in case. Alright, we'll let that cure up. And then we will come back and demold everything. So we got quite a bit. And I am going to cover these over. Let's see. Just another spritz of heat. Just in case. They look pretty good. Alright. Got my net. Just going to cover this over and leave this tonight. We'll come back in the morning and demold. I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, so all this is cured up, so let's get to demolding. Let's do our bigger butterfly first. I think I'm going to paint that up, maybe put a couple of diamonds on it, and it will be very pretty, and then put a magnet on the back. I'm just going to show you one of each butterfly because they're all the same. Aren't those pretty? And I'll just take out all of these dark pink ones here. I'm looking to see if any of them have any of the white. But I think they all look like they're solid pink. I was hoping that one's kind of a little marbled. Almost. Okay. Oh, that one is. I'll show you guys that one. That one's really pretty. He's got a little overflow though. I'll have to trim off. Come on. They're so small, they're hard to get a hold of. Now, he marbled up a little bit with the white. Or she, whatever. Okay. And here are the light pink ones. Told you, Pepto-Bismol. That's what it reminds me of. It's a pretty pink though. I'm going to have to trim this mold up. They didn't do a very good job trimming it when they made it. It's got some silicone just hanging and it's getting on my nerves. I don't know, sometimes it'll just pinch off. There we go. Okay. Our other little butterfly here. And you could put some colors on these too when you go to use them if you wanted to. You could do it now. It doesn't matter. Me, I would put mine on it after I glued it to my piece that I was going to use it on. If I was going to paint it, that way I could just spray it all at one time with a sealer. Okay, see our little turtle. Okay, he's got a couple of bubbles there. He doesn't need trimmed though. It's very pretty. It's got a little face. We can paint that face up. Our shaker. These are a little hard to get the suction off if you let them completely cure. Oh, he's perfect. He doesn't need trimmed either. And then I've got my, well, I thought I had made one. Did I not? I'll have to make him a lid. And then we're going to do yellow. So for what I'm going to put in him, if I can grab a hold of it, is this yellow butterfly that I have made before. I'm going to use some of these little gold beads from Laura's Art Corner and some of these little bubbles that I got from Temu. I think that's where I got those. Alright, and here's our ribbons. Same way, all of these will be the same. And these you could paint up when you go to use them as well. Okay, now our main event, our coasters. You can already see how they are. And if you want to take some, a paint pen and go around the edges, you could. Aren't those gorgeous? I love these. These are some of my favorites. I love the color. I love the sayings. They're pretty. One more. They all turned out pretty, and I was able to fix the corner here. I went back over it with the pieces that came off and put them back on there. Alright guys, that's it. I'll do a time lapse and fix this stuff up. Come back, show you what I've done to it. Take some pictures and we'll be done. I'll see you in just a moment. Hey guys, so I got these pieces finished. All I did was I took some glue and I glued on some diamond rhinestones in the corners of the butterfly. And then I took a blue metallic paint marker and painted his center. Once he's cured up, then I'll put a little magnet on the back of him. And then I just painted the little face of the turtle. I gave him some blue eyes and painted his little mouth. And the shaker, I took and I put in these gold beads from Laura's Art Corner and some of these gold bubbles that I think I got from Temu. And I used one of our pink butterflies that we had made and threw him in there. Alrighty guys, that is it. I'll take some pictures and then I'll see you guys back for the next video. Bye for now.
In Linda's reason